Welcome back to Just You and Me. I'm Donna.
And I am Adam. What's going on?
Well,
Donna?
we were just kind of catching up before we started recording. I mean, it's been such a week. Obviously, last week when we recorded, it was such a sad week. You had such a tough situation in your life. And when we just started recording, before we started recording, you were talking about kind of like all the odds and ends that happen after someone close to you dies. I mean, you don't have to get
Yeah.
into details, but
No.
that is like really, you don't think about that when someone dies. You just think about the sadness, and then you're like, oh shit, there's work to be done.
Yeah, I think from the situation with my dad and passing away, I feel like we are in a fortunate situation because my parents are and were financially stable, where they're not be living like paycheck to paycheck with Social Security and all that stuff. They're good. But with that being said, there's just so much stuff to be done, and helping my mom, who's admittedly, and she'll say it herself, not great with technology and doesn't really understand, how to, she, when we were talking to her yesterday about bills, she still pays by check and stamps, an envelope and sends it in the snail mail and balances her checkbook, which is, maybe something that I did when when I first had like a bill when I was younger in my teen years, and then I did it that way when we didn't have internet pay. But now it's a lot different, and my mom has no idea how to do any of that. So it's like setting all of that stuff up for her, as well as kind of understanding how, what was paid for, subscriptions, figuring out a lot of different things. And it's very interesting because I'm at this point right now where I will sporadically, just throughout the day, or maybe not even that day, or I will get this feeling of depression, right? And I will get this intense sadness. And then it will kind of dissipate because I realize there's so much stuff to be done. And I feel like what ends up happening in a lot of these situations is you have someone who dies, like I did, like a parent, and you don't have immediate time to really mourn. You basically are there to make sure things are getting done, and then after that, you have time to actually deal with your emotions and deal with what's really going on with your brain and how I'm going to feel now that he's gone and all that stuff. So I feel like I haven't gone through all of that yet. Yes, I will, I will break down. And I, like, even yesterday, I was over at my mom's house and we were having dinner and we were talking. And at one point we were talking about something about my dad, and we just broke down crying.
All of you?
Well, I was just me and my mom at that point. So, yeah, we just broke down. And it was like, and then, you get back to what you should be doing. And like, should be being, like, getting all your affairs in order and all that stuff. So, it's like, it really, when they say roller coaster, it is a roller coaster because there's so many ups and downs, and you don't know how to feel, and you don't know when to feel, and it sucks, and it's not something that no one's gonna enjoy this, but I don't want anyone to go through this, and it sucks, and it's gonna happen to
That's a
so
part of
many of
life.
us. I know it really is, and you just have to deal with it, and it's hard. It's hard, but it is interesting though. A lot of people that I hadn't talked to in years. Same with my mom. People that she hadn't talked to in years are coming out and talking to us and saying, "We're so sorry," giving us all these condolences. My mom actually had a cousin, a first cousin, who she has not spoke to in probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years at this point, because there was a giant rift. And she, there's been this rift the entire time. And then he saw, I guess, I had a Facebook post. We still follow each other. We don't talk that much, but I have a Facebook post, and I had mentioned it that my dad had passed. So he wrote this very, very beautiful letter to my mother. Came, snail mail, typed out. And it was very, very nice.
That's actually so sweet.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, you get shocked when you see that, because you're like, there's so much, ill feelings towards each other. And then all of a sudden it takes something like this to reconnect.
Yeah.
Which sucks, obviously. But it was very nice to see that letter and to see, that there are certain things that are just more important than, these small little petty things that we get into arguments about that sometimes turn into bigger deals than what they should be.
Yeah.
Have this, reconnection between family has been the only positive thing about this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, when someone is going through grief or serious sadness, it's usually when you can really kind of, you're supposed to be able to put tough things aside, and big fights aside, and it kind of makes like the vulnerable side of you come out. I mean, look at Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They sat there together, remember? I mean, I was just trying to think, like, who recently did I see? Someone in my mind, I was like, who recently did I see get along at a funeral? And that's who I thought of. Like,
yeah.
Right? They had the biggest public fight online, and they sat there and they were like, for Charlie Kirk, remember? I don't know how realistic all of it was and how big their fight really was or whatever, but I think that the smart people, the really good people are willing to overlook drama and big fights when someone dies, and they're like, you know what? Like, it's so petty compared to an actual heartbreak, especially, someone's husband, wife,
Yeah.
kid, parent. And did you hear from anyone that you've had drama with or anything?
Not necessarily drama, but just,
You don't really have drama with people,
no,
though.
I don't think I do.
I can't think of anyone that, like, you've told me that you've, like, fought with.
No, but it's more of like, for me, it's more like I will get just random emails and texts from people that, when you post on social media, it's kind of out there for everybody to see.
You'll hear from people from all walks of life.
Correct. Like, I've heard from some of our LA Old Pond people.
I was going to say, did you hear from some of the people? Did you hear from the girl that you broke up with me for?
No.
Where is she? She's like in a commune somewhere.
I don't know where she is, but I did hear
Definitely
from...
long armpit hair.
You think so?
For sure. She for sure doesn't wear deodorant.
Oh, God. Now I'm tempted to look her up, but I'm not going to. Oh, God. The armpit here is too much for me. But yeah, I heard, like, you hear from people that... I heard from our friend Jessica.
Oh, that's nice, because you guys both have lost your dads.
Yes. So I thought that was very sweet, and I'm glad she reached out. And that's, you bring up that point real quick, and then we can stop talking about all this, fun death stuff. The people that I feel like have been the most supportive, besides, of course, you, Donna, are the people who've gone through this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I have a lot of friends who have lost a parent.
Mm-hmm.
In recent years, my wife lost her father, so she knows exactly what I'm, not exactly, but close to what I'm going through, and very similar. And other people who are, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve, but I get they know that these people that have lost a parent, and they've been very sweet. I had a friend send me a book on grieving that he read when his mom died.
Do you know the name of it?
I don't. I will take a look.
It would probably be helpful for anyone listening that's maybe had.
Yes.
At some point next week, come up with it.
Yes, I'll point it out next week. It is in a drawer. Actually, hold on. Give me a sec.
Oh.
Entertain
on this
our
commercial
audience.
break.
Entertain our audience.
Well, no, there is something I'm sure, as you're looking, there is something that I keep seeing all over TikTok, like when you get into that algorithm, it's called the Dead Dads Club. And people literally create content. Like, I'm part of the Dead Dads Club. I'm part of the Dead Moms Club. Like, they make kind of light of it, like, because it's
Yeah.
years after. But a lot of people are sadly part of that club from a very young age. Like, you're actually on, it's 40, 44, 45 is still very young. But
Yeah.
there's people that have been part of that
Doesn't
club
feel young.
since they're 20.
Yeah, I know, and like that's the thing. And it's losing a parent at any age is there's like
There's never a good year
it's never
to
good.
lose.
And it's
Yeah.
like for me right now with with having children and understanding there's going to be milestones like bat mitzvahs, graduations, potential weddings, all of that stuff that my dad is now going to miss, and I'm
It's
going to
horrible.
miss having. Okay, so here's the book, or it's going to be backward. Isn't
No,
it
it's not backwards.
Yes, you're right. It's
The
called
Grief Recovery Handbook, the action program for moving beyond death, divorce, and other losses by John W. James and Russell Friedman.
So I haven't read it yet. I'm not ready to read it yet.
Yeah.
But
You
I
have to
am
be in
going
the
to.
right state of mind.
Yeah. But I will. I will check it out and I will report back. But I thought it was a nice gesture.
I bet you'll find a lot of really good, helpful books and maybe some content online and podcasts and stuff when you're ready. Whose book may really help you, and I love him so much, is Rabbi Steve Leader,
Okay.
Leder. Do you know who he is?
Yeah. The name sounds
He's
really
Wilshire. I
familiar.
want to say Wilshire Boulevard Temple, and I could be wrong. It could be Sinai, but I want to say it's Wilshire Boulevard Temple.
Okay.
He's very, very, very prestigious rabbi. He's friendly with a lot of like Hollywood people. I know he's very close with the Foster sisters, and he's very close with he's always in Hollywood people's Instagram posts. Like
Yeah, it's Wilshire Boulevard Temple, by the
Wilshire
way.
Boulevard. He
Yeah.
was known for being like a consultant on Nobody Wants This. And but he's also just such an amazing speaker, and I've heard him on the Erin Foster and her sister do a podcast, and they had him on that podcast talking about grief. It blew me away. It made me cry so hard. He wrote a book because what he does, or what he did maybe a certain portion as a rabbi,
Yeah.
is goes and speaks to people on their deathbeds, and kind of like, as you would say, like last rites or whatever. But like in the Jewish tradition, a lot of
Right.
times older people, when they're like close to death, they want to see their rabbis before they die. And he speaks to these people, and I can't remember the name of the book. If you have your computer in front of you, maybe you can look up the name of the book that he wrote.
Yeah, there's a bunch of books here, but
But one of them is about the conversations he had with the people who died. And the point of the book is to help the people that have survived, the dead, basically, and to help them through these grief moments. And it's basically to teach you on how to live your life so that you're not going to regret, when you die, but also just to help you through, just to feel a little better about losing your loved ones and death, and not to feel so sad about it. Like it's not, to kind of feel a little softer around losing that.
yeah.
If,
I'm wondering if it's this book. There's a
which
book
one?
called
I listened to it, so I'll recognize it.
The Beauty of What Remains.
Yes.
Okay. So that
It's
is
so freaking beautiful. The Beauty of What Remains. I listened to it. So if you're an audio person, you probably
Yeah.
are, because you're listening to this podcast or watching this. But if you are, download it. It's so beautiful, and it talks a lot about what you regret on your deathbed and what you wish you had done when you were dying. But for the people that are losing their loved ones, what you shouldn't be sad about and what you should be, feeling. And it's just such a beautiful book about death, and it reframes losing loved ones in a less sad but almost more gratitude way.
interesting. Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, it's got great reviews, and you
And he's a rabbi,
obviously
which is always
yes,
nice, to have like a
it is.
like a rabbi's take on it. He's not an orthodox, like super orthodox guy.
And I mean, this is another reason why I love Judaism is because, we don't talk much about the afterlife. We don't concentrate on that. We
Yeah.
are all about tikkun olam and healing everything in this world while we're here. And that's really what is important And one last thing about my dad to kind of to wrap this part up, because I don't want to talk about death anymore, is, and we just talked about this, is, you know, I found out just going through some of the documents that my dad had and trying to figure out all the stuff now that he passed, that he was a big charity person. He donated every month to 4 different charities, and trying to, obviously, he knew he was financially stable to do so, and understood that, you know, he wanted to and felt like he needed to give back because he made a great living, and he was like, yeah, I feel like I need to give back to not only the community but to the rest of the world to make this world a better place. So I do find a lot of comfort in that, and it's great to see that type of memory and that kind of you know, it's good to when I'm going through all of this to understand how much more of a great man my dad was.
Yeah, you're learning about him even after he's alive. That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, because he didn't like share that with you as like, hey, I'm a charity guy. I always donate. Like he didn't talk about it, which is even better about him.
Right. It wasn't about him. Right.
Yeah,
It wasn't
he didn't
about,
make it like a conversation topic about like, hello, my name is, and I donate. Like we talked to him for an hour. He never mentioned it at the podcast. He never said it one time, and he could have. Absolutely. He could have been like, well, I always donate every month. You know, he didn't. He chose not to make it a big. He may have not even like thought about it because it was on autopay. He wanted it just to be a thing that he did because it was like he made it a point to do it. He wanted it to be part of his life. That's very important. That's very nice. Generosity is a really, really important quality. And what are you generous about, Adam? Are you generous? You know you are generous. I'll never forget. I mean, I don't know about your financial generosity, but you did come over here and collect a dead rat out of my pool once. And I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment.
Maybe you're an acts of service generosity
There you go.
guy.
Maybe I am. I will help out. I mean, I figured that was so funny because you were like choosing between me and another friend, and you chose me.
Well, what, it was you and Dave?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I chose you. 2 times now. I don't think Dave would have been the right guy for the job.
I don't either.
I don't even think you were really the right guy for the job.
How dare you? Did I do a fantastic job?
Well, I don't know. Did I put it out on the group text and you were the first person to respond, or did I just go to you?
I think it was on the group text, but I think you went directly to me. You addressed me first.
Number one, when I look at Dave, and I know Dave's not going to listen to this, so I'm not worried. But when I look at Dave, I just don't see rat collector on his face. And I don't see it on yours either, to be honest.
To say.
Secondly, I think, you know, I think Dave is kind of one of the guys that's like, call someone, like fix it, like call a guy, call like he would be like, he would send me to one of those apps where you call someone to get, what are those apps like that you call to get help?
Yeah, I know there's one that's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember what it is, but I know
you know what I'm talking about,
right.
Like where you call a guy to help you with a task rabbit. Yes,
there you go. There you go.
You know, they say that there's a very typical like Jewish guy thing where it's like a stereotypical thing about Jewish men that they're not good at fixing things around the house.
Yeah, I fall into that. I'm not gonna lie.
But you're good at collecting dead rats, I guess.
Yeah, well, listen, that didn't require that much in terms of skill or any type of carpentry type knowledge. It was literally getting one of those scoopers that I would put or pool cleaner that I would scoop it up and then throw it
into a bag.
That's it. I mean, that's right. We put it in a bag.
I did share a story on my other show, and I won't share it again because I don't think I can stomach it. Literally, I don't think you can stomach it with your colitis. Definitely not. And
this is getting
you
weird.
can't.
Okay.
No, it's real bad. I had an experience a couple weeks ago with my trash can that was truly monstrous in disgust. It was one of the most disgusting things I've ever experienced, and I had to deal with it because I was alone, and I wasn't going to call anyone else to deal with it. Like, it was so gross. And Lance wasn't around. And, like, you got to deal with it. Like, you just have to handle it.
When was this?
it was probably about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you could have asked me. This is before my dad.
Adam, I don't think I would ever put you through it. I don't think I could even put anyone through it. Like, it was that bad.
Sorry, I'll ask one question. Was it maggots?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah, those are.
Have you dealt with that?
Well, a little bit here and there, but not. I don't know what extent you have to deal
I
with
don't
it.
understand how they even start and where they come from and what, but we had an infestation in one of our trash cans that was pouring out of the trash can onto my dogs.
Oh, God.
It was a nightmare. I mean, it was a horror film. I felt like I was in a horror film. They were like shaking. I mean, it was like everywhere. It was everywhere.
Okay, never mind. Thank you for not calling me Donna, because honestly, that sounds horrifying.
I wish I did have a camera on the side of the house where the trash cans are exactly there to like do an instant replay of the experience. Because
did you take pictures and video?
What?
Did you take pictures and video of this?
No, I was that grossed out that it wasn't even good enough for content. You know me, I always get content.
I know.
I screamed, I cried, I freaked out. And my kids were home, and they just sat and played video games through it. Like, I was like, I could have gotten murdered outside. Did you not know? Like, did you not hear? Oh, I didn't know. What?
Or do you just typically run around your house screaming?
For real, it was a nightmare. So speaking of kids, so guess what I'm doing tonight in a few hours? We're going to have our bar mitzvah food tasting.
Oh, nice.
This is something that we're doing. I had no idea this is a thing. But Lance can't make it, so I'm just going with the boys and my planner. Okay. So we're gonna look like a little lesbian couple and our sons. Mm-hmm. And it's at the venue.
Okay.
And we're trying all the food like a wedding.
Yeah, I mean that was the best part of the wedding, right? I
remember it. Like, I remember the night, but I don't really remember the details.
I remember cake tasting for my wedding. That was the best part. Yeah, that's so funny. I guess I didn't even think about it. That you have to figure out what you're eating, and you're not just gonna.
I'm like, who cares?
So what are you eating? What are you trying? Do you have any idea?
Well, it's a Broadway themed bar mitzvah. We're 1 month today.
Oh God, that is
1 month out.
Wow. Okay.
And it's a Broadway themed bar mitzvah. So the woman who kind of like runs the venue, and her husband is the head chef, and she does like all the planning for the place. She's like, I'm thinking New York. New York. So she's like, what if we do? And I can't remember exactly what she has in her plan, but like, what if we do like a Chinese and a deli and an Italian?
Okay.
And so in her mind, because you also have to think, we also want it to be kid friendly.
Yeah.
But also the adults will like it, right? So you have to have like a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing like a kid's station and then an adult station. We're doing it together because I'm not a millionaire.
Oh, you're not?
I'm spending so much goddamn money. It's a joke. Like, it's out of control. It is sick. Once you're in, you're so in, and you can't get out. And then you start to say and now, Adam, it's a month out, so everyone's like, it's time to pay. It's time to pay.
Yeah.
It's time to pay. And guess what? Taxes were also due today. So within 72 hours, I've spent so many I don't want to say hundreds, but so many thousands of dollars. Like, I can't even tell you. I feel like I got violated. Like, I feel like I got robbed.
Financially violated.
My whole year of saving up money is gone within 24 hours.
It's pretty crazy.
That's what it feels like.
Oh, my God. And
you can't save money anymore in life.
And you have to do it again with another child.
Because of taxes, anyway, you can't save money anymore because we pay so much for just living here in Los Angeles, I feel like.
Yes.
You pay so much just to raise kids, and I have to send my kids to a private school because the schools in the neighborhood, I mean, I just don't know about, for elementary and middle school, whatever. And, I mean, I should say for where we are. So we're sending to private school, but then all of the freaking after school shit is so expensive. Mm-hmm. And then property taxes and insurance. My insurance guy was at your dad's funeral.
Yes. Well, he's also my insurance guy, too. But yes.
I should have pulled him aside.
Why didn't you?
I did, actually. We talked. But I didn't talk to him about insurance. We were just talking about you and your dad. But insurance is psycho.
I know. And, like, I look at my friends who do not have children, like the married couples, And I have a few of them, and I'm
They must have
like
so much money.
they they would have to, right? I don't like. How do you not? If you're making around the same income, like they have to be so
They have to
much
be
money.
loaded.
Like just the amount of expendable money just coming out. What like they have to be.
Are they like the DuckTales? Are they just like in gold? Is
Jumping
that
like
DuckTales?
Scrooge. Yeah, Scrooge jumping in the money pit.
They're just like,
Um,
we have so much money. They probably just decide like it's Tuesday. Do you want to go eat at
yeah, wherever.
like
It doesn't matter. Sushi.
crustacean or like whatever? I
Oh
don't know.
my god. Like
But they're probably like, yeah, whatever. Catch on a
yeah,
Wednesday.
I love my children, Donna. I love them,
Do you?
but the amount of money these little
It's
suckers cost,
psycho.
I know it's a lot.
And it gets worse. Like I used to think it was the worst when they were younger for some reason. It's so much more as they get older. Like just even Oliver's travel baseball.
Oh god.
And then Dylan goes to therapy because anxiety is real, right? And
Yep.
therapy is psycho. And then, musical theater. And then they also want like cool clothes. You can't just put them in Old Navy dorky clothes anymore when they
Well,
get older.
I'm hoping. Well, you got the private school fashion show going on.
But the kids that go to our private school, like they don't even dress cool. It's not like I don't send them to a school filled with labels.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
There are schools like that out here that are out of control. That's not what my school is, but it's more like I used to go to Old Navy with them and be like, pick out some cute
Right,
shirts.
of course.
They go in there now, they're like, that's not
No.
going to fly, Mom. I know,
Well,
it's bad.
I'm
Your
dealing
girls
with.
are going to be the same no matter where they go to school.
I'm dealing with Sephora. Like that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not for Lincoln because she's too young. She'll get there eventually. But Bellamy, who's turning 10 next week, is
Aw.
I know it's very cool. She is Sephora. Just loves going in there and getting whatever she can get.
Yeah.
And it's too much for me already.
I know.
Too much.
I know.
Not money wise. It's just too much. Like knowing that she's getting like they go from buying toys or wanting toys to now this, and it's just freaking me out.
I know. I know. Dylan's into a lot of like music. Like he likes albums and thank God he's into like that stuff. Oliver's into video games.
Yeah,
Sports stuff. But yeah, a toy, LOL.
I know.
Can you imagine I go and like buy them like a little like toy.
Well, it was funny
What?
because we went to Target the other day, and Bellamy was deciding between like a Lego, like building, like she still likes Legos. She's 9. She's still that age. She's like, should I get a Lego or should I get this facial cleanser? I'm like, like these are the two things you're choosing. Like, it is so weird to me at this point.
Yeah.
Like you're choosing between those two things. It's like
Yeah, you can't
you're
play with
choosing
a facial
between-
cleanser.
You're choosing between your childhood and your
Teenage
so
years.
much teenagerhood. So
I
it's
know.
just very bizarre.
I know, it's bad. Okay, so we're doing that tonight, and then I'm in very much bar mitzvah. I'm covered, or like my office in front of me is seriously covered in boxes, merch,
Ah,
all the sweaters, all the napkins, all that stuff. Like it's collecting. Like I'm ready for this to be over. I can't even put into words. So that's gonna be my next month. But let's talk about what happened this week.
yeah. So I obviously good stuff happened, and there's a lot of interesting things about it. But let's start.
So obviously, when we recorded, I believe it was on Friday. You kind of probably don't even really remember half of last week, but your dad passed away on Tuesday, October 7th. October 8th, we hear the announcement of the peace deal. October 9th, your dad has his funeral, and then the peace treaty is officially like signed into or announced, like official. And then and like the Knesset agrees on it on October 9th. By what was it? By Sunday night,
Yeah.
I am at My sister's Sukkot dinner with
Yep.
Daniel Ryan Spalding,
Oh,
former
yes.
guest Daniel Ryan Spalding. That was so funny. And we're having a conversation and talking all about this because we know that the hostages are to be released at some point Sunday night. And it was going back and forth when, and it was at first it was somewhere around 7 p.m. Pacific time, and it kept getting pushed by a couple
Yep.
hours. We come home, we're washing our face, brushing our teeth. The kids don't want to go to bed. And I'm not pushing it because Dylan especially has been so invested in this war. And I'm like, come on, this is a groundbreaking moment, especially for Dylan. I'm not going to force him to go to bed. I just wanted to see that some of the hostages are
Yeah,
starting to
yeah.
definitely get transferred. And between 10 and 11 p.m. they did. And then we kind of all went to sleep. But I was up all night looking at my phone. And by the time I woke up at like 5 a.m. Monday morning, we find out all 20 hostages had come home and were in Israel's possession. And
All living hostages.
sorry, all
Yeah,
living, but that was the best hope,
of
right? That
course.
all
Of course.
20 living hostages, and that's the best possible thing that could have happened because the bodies, of course, need to be returned, and they should be returned. They still also haven't by the time we're recording this Wednesday,
Well,
the
did you hear what
15th.
just happened?
Yes, and we'll get there in just a second.
Mhm.
Let's just get through Monday right now. But
Yeah.
all we wanted was that these living hostages, which was
Yes.
essential to get home, because A, that was promised, B, they're living, and C, if they didn't, the war is going to continue. And like
Right.
that's
Exactly.
the worst possible thing that would happen, right? But they all came home. And then the videos start rolling in. And like cue the emotions.
Oh
Did
yeah, ton
you
of them.
lose your mind watching these
Yeah, I
videos?
mean, listen, in the darkness that I've been in the past
Oh,
week, and it's even something I shared with my mom, and my mom has been in even more darkness, and to tell her that the hostages are now released and sending her some of these
is she on
videos.
Instagram or anything?
No, she's not on
Did she
anything.
just watch
So
the news?
yeah, she watched the news, and she can still look at some of the videos on Instagram without having an account. Um, and we it brought a lot of joy and light to such a shitty week for me. So yeah, it was really
The
nice.
videos were like beyond. And you can't have a semblance of a heart and not be touched by those videos, especially knowing that these were not bad people. These were truly innocent people that were just taken from either homes, festivals, whatever. Some of my favorites were, seeing some of the stories of, I didn't know the stories of a lot of the hostages. So I was like learning about them, a lot
Yeah.
of them in the morning of, but seeing, Aviatar, the one that we had seen those pictures of him having to dig his own grave, like looking like a
Very
skeleton,
sweet. Yeah.
and seeing him come home. And you could see that they kind of tried to overfeed a lot of them in the days before because he was so much bigger, even though he was tiny still, he was bigger than we had seen.
Yep.
And then seeing Ivy Natan and Noah get back together. The woman, Noah, who was also a hostage, who was taken on the motorcycle from the festival, and her boyfriend, and they were back together. And like, come on, this is a freaking Titanic movie.
Yeah. I mean, that one was great because yes, when you think about October 7th and you think about like videos that you've seen, like non-violent videos, but like very traumatic videos, you always see like her reaching towards her boyfriend,
And him just
and
being like,
as
I don't know what to
can't do
do.
anything, and she is on this back of this motorcycle, and they just leave with her,
It's
and
literally
then
a movie.
right, and then you see them reconnecting. It's amazing. It is just fantastic.
You can't write it. It's like
Yeah.
it's literally a film. And if you saw it in a movie, you would be like, "Oh, it's too good to be true."
Right.
That they would both survive this and find each other at the end healthy and okay and alive
Yes.
and not like missing limbs and body parts. Like it's wild.
Yes.
I hope they get married and have a million babies and are happy and can survive this because God knows how it's changed them. Like that's how I think about it too.
That's always I'm scared honestly of that because 2 years in
PTSD.
whatever condition they were in, it will change you, and you will have a different outlook on life. You will be a different person. So it will be very interesting to see, the weeks, months, years ahead how it ultimately affected them.
Totally. But what I did see, and I don't know if Megyn Kelly posted about this, but she did say, and I didn't know this, that apparently they were together for a good portion of their time in captivity.
Mm.
And I didn't know this at all. And I should actually look up and see if this is true or not. So I apologize if this is not true, but this is what she said, I think. And that he had a chance to go free at some point, like to escape. And he didn't because he didn't want to leave her side. So I'm curious if they were together the whole time, and maybe that would have made things easier for them to reconvene now because they kind of went through most of it together. The stories, okay, so that first morning was just like heart-wrenching. And also, and I am not shy about this, I don't give a shit anymore. I have literally stopped caring, but all hands and all like
What
the biggest
hell
fly
was
just
that?
came in.
I know.
It's a monster fly because my
I
door
mean,
is open.
I just
Well,
saw
because
it.
my dogs are coming in and out. It is, and it's so nice out. It's like sunny but chilly. The biggest fly just came in. I think he's Hamas. The Donald Trump. Wow. Like, I am so grateful that he is our president in this time, especially since hearing a couple things that Kamala has said this week about Israel. And I don't know if you have heard this, but like, we literally could not be luckier that he is president during this time and not someone else that didn't fully have Israel's back, because there is no question that he has Israel's back. And I think if anyone's questioning if he does or not, this week should have proved that Donald Trump does have Israel's back. And Israel loves it, Donald Trump.
But
like,
it's
they're
not,
obsessed
like,
with him.
What I found very interesting about it, and this is like the first time that I've seen the negotiator of Donald Trump. Like, when you talk about his book Art of the Deal or like anything, you're like, oh, he's a businessman. How does a businessman become president? And everyone's like, oh, we want a businessman to become president because he'll treat this differently. And so for what now it's been, we had four of his first years of his first term, and then we're a few months in. So I feel like this is the first time I've actually seen that in play. And I think what he did was very interesting in the way he kind of handled it with at times like working with Qatar and working with these Arab nations, but also I don't want to say disciplining, but scolding Netanyahu and Israel when they were doing certain things. So he was kind of getting Qatar and the other Arab nations on his side because he wasn't afraid to say shit to Netanyahu. But at the same time, I think he knew, and the administration knew, that was the way to do it to get this all done. So I think he did such a great job, and the administration and Jared Kushner kind of doing everything they could to make this happen. Now, again, and I said this last week, and I've said it before, you can judge everything that he does. You can judge everything that he does with this country, and you can not like what he does. But what he did here was fantastic. And you have to give him his props for it, because he did exactly what he said he was going to do, and exactly the best case scenario, even though there's still these, free Palestine people who we can get into that in a minute. But he did everything that should have been done to appease everybody everywhere. And it worked.
It's truly remarkable. And I have never been someone that like openly talks that way about Donald Trump. I really have always been a little bit wary, and I still am a little bit wary about a lot of his things. And I definitely think he says too much. I think he goes too far. I think he's crass and whatever, although I take it all back after reading some of Gavin Newsom's tweets this week, which are disgusting, the way he posted the Dumb and Dumber about him and Netanyahu. The day of this, like, fuck you. I was disgusted with Gavin Newsom. Like, come on. After getting these Israelis out of caves, you're going to post Dumb and Dumber. Like, have a little heart.
Yeah, and he wants to be a candidate. Like, what? Like, or he is going to be a candidate for president. Like, why would you do that? Just ignore it. Just don't. You can do stupid things about Trump, which he's been doing, but adding this in kind of just alienates another group of people.
I mean, it's this, and he does this under this like Governor Newsom press office account, which are run by these like younger, annoying looking people, these younger 20-something-year-old, like, very, very progressive liberal guys and
Okay.
girls that, like, all have, you know, they all, like, very much look like people that would probably be at Free Palestine rallies, let's be real. And maybe that's, like, generalizing, but I'm just gonna be honest. They don't look
Okay.
like people that would probably have Israel's back.
Okay.
And it's just so gross, like, for anyone not to immediately just be so freaking happy that day, because you look at video from Gaza and you look at
Mm-hmm.
video, I mean, I'm not talking about the horrors that have come out
Yeah, you're
after
talking about the
that day.
celebration, right?
There was only celebration, but yet there's people there that just want to be so angry. So I tried so hard that day to just focus on the positive, and I really was so grateful. And for the first time, Adam, in 2 years, and I say this truly, and I still feel this way, it's still held over for 2 days. For the first time in 2 years, I really feel like I can say out loud that I feel gaslit by everyone on that side, everyone that told me that Israel was committing a genocide,
Mm-hmm.
everyone that told me that Israel was a disgusting, evil, genocidal, war crime criminals, IDF is worse than Hamas type people, everyone that said that you and I, people like you and I that support Israel, are supporting killing babies
Mm-hmm.
and supporting, genocide, etc. Like all these horrible things. I think that, sorry, I think that for the first time I can say that out loud. I feel seeing the videos coming out of Gaza and seeing that, yes, there is a section of Gaza that has been
Decimated.
decimated to rubble.
Yes.
A section.
Yeah.
But just because a section of buildings have been decimated does not mean that the people that lived in those buildings are gone with them. All of them, every single one of them. And I highly do not believe that they were, because Israel and the IDF, as we know, were very, very intent on telling people exactly what they were doing the entire time. And there was video of every single one of those bombs, and you saw there was like 6 people in the streets. Okay, there were this. I watched a lot of people's content of people saying, we're moving, we're leaving the area, we're going to another area because we got flyers.
Sure.
Israel did the best possible thing. And yes, there was a section of Gaza that was decimated where the terrorists were. But there's a lot of Gaza that's fine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Gaza that's
There's
living.
a lot of videos that were during the war and especially post-war, where you see lot of parts of Gaza that is completely fine and just thriving.
So if you take a drone right now over the Pacific Palisades and you just stop it right at the corner of the 405 or whatever, you're going to also say it looks like we were torn. I mean, obviously it's a lot prettier because it's now grown back and there's greenery now. But
Yes.
like the day of the fires, you would say, oh my gosh, it looks like a war happened
Yeah.
in Los Angeles. But go a little further.
And it's fine.
And it's back to like the entire area is not completely gone. So I feel sick when I see, but I finally felt confident enough to say, fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry, but fuck you, all of you,
You don't have to
who
whisper.
made us feel so sick to our stomachs to just say, I support Israel.
Yeah.
So another thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you feel this way, is that everyone loved to say, you committed a genocide, you committed a genocide, you committed a genocide. And then on Monday, I finally felt confident and I was like, sorry, Israel's never going to die. Like, I think the goal here, I wrote it on like a New York Post post or something in the comments. I was like, because someone was like, where are they? Why aren't they saying, that they're happy about the ceasefire or whatever? And I was like, well, the goal was to get Israel to die, but newsflash, it's never going to happen.
Right.
And then people commenting under saying, no, Israel's done. We're going to, Israel lost this war. I'm like, oh, did Israel lose this war and commit a genocide? Like, Israel's really good at doing so many things while losing a war. Like, please, shut the fuck up. I'm like, they're idiots.
No, and then the frustrating part for me, and believe me, I'm super happy there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on in my head, and I'm going to try to word vomit a little bit.
Yeah.
Of this. Okay. So what's frustrating to me initially are the people that are comparing the hostages that were in Gaza to the criminals, terrorists, rapists, murderers,
Suicide bombers.
All convicted. That, what is it? How many of them did we release? All these Palestinians.
2,000.
2,000. That were released. So you have, and I saw like I don't want to use the word meme because that kind of makes light of it, but there's all these like, photos of, back to back, like they have two people next to each other. Like one of the hostages, it says just celebrating at Nova Festival, and then next to it is one of the terrorists saying murdered a child. I'm like, these are not the same people. These are not the same type of people. There was a group of people that were either living their lives in their kibbutz or celebrating life and music and love and the world at a festival. Right? They were grabbed, raped, killed. And the ones that were grabbed were brought over as hostages. Then you have a bunch of terrorists that came over and killed people, bombed people, did horrendous things in Israel, were convicted, and then were put behind bars. These are not the same people. I don't understand how people are still saying that, oh, they didn't have due process, they were just hostages, they were kidnapped.
Well, because they think it's fake.
They think all these things, and they have this narrative in their head that everything that Israel does is
a lie or fake.
Right, and everything is bad. So of course, all Palestinians are heavenly, and they're wonderful people. So yeah, there can't be prisoners. They can't be terrible people. They're obviously hostages.
It's a mental illness.
At this point,
because I can at least admit that there are bad Israelis.
Yeah, of course.
There's criminals in Israel too.
Yeah.
There's people in Israel also go to jail.
Yeah, of every sort of heinous crime, small crime, anything you can think of. Yeah, of course.
That's why we have a parliament. That's why we have jails. That's why we have police. That's why we have, judges. And I would never, ever say because they're Israeli, they're not criminals. Like, that's weird that they're not able to accept that.
It's intensely stupid.
I know.
It's just at this point, it's like every little thing that Israel does has to be bad. And the fact that people are still buying it is insane. So yes, you're probably right. It's probably a mental illness. I don't know what that mental illness is called. Maybe there's a special name for it. Maybe we can make up a name for it.
It's IDS, Israel Derangement Syndrome.
Oh, IDS. I like that. That sounds
it's truly. It's 10 times worse than TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. It's called IDS.
It sounds like my stomach.
IDS, issue. Yeah. No, it's truly, it's like a severe sickness where anything that touches Israel is bad. And it's such a strange thing because this is so new, but it's infiltrated so strong. Because I do think that people like Mark Ruffalo, et cetera, and, Cynthia Nixon, my friend Doug, who I adore, he's a liberal, but he's Jewish, he's pro-Israel, he lives here in Los Angeles, he's gay, and he's like, there's no one I hate more than Cynthia Nixon. He's like, there's something about her, and he's like, I can't stop rage watching her shit. I don't even follow her, she makes me so sick, but he sends me her stories, and I'm like, you gotta stop doing this, like, she's so gross. But he sends me her stories, and today he sent me a story of hers where it's literally like, we won't stop until all the Palestinian hostages are free.
Yep.
I'm like, you've got to be fucking good luck. What are you gonna not stop? What are you gonna do?
Wait, so I was thinking about this. I wanted to ask you this, actually. Out of all the, not politicians, but celebrities, and through this entire 2-year process, who are your top 3 that you hate the most? And I want to see
from this story or Blake Lively.
No. Okay, come on. Let's get off of Blake Lively. No,
she doesn't even bother me so much because she's not anti-Semitic that we know of.
No, Uh, what are like your top three worst people from the last 2 years that
From the
in terms
conflict, okay, I would
yeah
say
celebrities though.
it has to be someone that really triggers me. Like, I there's a lot of people that say shit all the time, and like they're gross and they're horrible, but it doesn't like affect me so much.
Right.
I would say, and they're not well, I guess celebrities because they're very well known. I would say
Yeah.
Candace Owens really
Okay.
triggers me. I don't know what it is about her. I think because she has a huge audience, and a lot of my peers obsess over her, which scares me because she's really, really infiltrated like your typical mid 30s, 40-year-old, white mom.
Yep.
And it freaks me out. Like, people that I'm in carpool line with are obsessed with Candace Owens. Like, she's not a fringe person.
Yeah, she's
She's
not at
like,
all.
she's not the Nick Fuentes, right? She's for the really, really normal mom that, I see at Trader Joe's.
Yep.
So that freaks me out. So
Okay.
they're seeing my Jewish star, and what are they thinking?
Yeah, you know what they're thinking.
Okay, so Candace Owens, I would say, is a huge one for me. Hannah Einbinder is a big one for me.
That's one of mine.
And I think it's because she's like on such a popular show. She's like, she went to Beverly Hills High School. She went to the same high school that I did. She grew up basically like us. And she grew up as this, I mean, except we're not Nepo babies, but she grew up as this like very in a Zionist household, like really, got everything kind of just given to her. She has this great life working amongst all these fucking Jews. Gets represented by everyone. And then I think we share a third one is Miss Rachel.
She is to me the worst of the worst of the worst, and she's almost tied with Hannah. And I don't even watch Hacks. It's not even a show that I even started, and I'm glad I didn't. The thing about
So
Hannah,
sad because I love it and I can't watch it anymore.
I know. The thing about Hannah, like I can look at other people like what's his stupid name, the Hulk.
Oh, Mark.
Yes. I think he's despicable, but he doesn't like trigger me. It's not like something
He's
that's
just
like
stupid.
right. There's a lot of that, but like for Hannah, the fact that she's Jewish, and the fact that she is being completely tokenized and taken advantage of by this cause is something that is it's either she's too dumb to know, or she's getting paid, or she's just out of her effing mind.
I don't think she's getting paid. I think she literally feels like she is a better person for it. I think she feels like she is standing for the oppressed because she's a poor lesbian, like, oppressed
Right.
person
Right. So
who gets her vagina eaten out on TV on Hacks. I'm not joking. There's scenes of
I
it.
didn't see it. That's good.
No, but like
now I'm gonna
that's
watch.
what oppressed people go through.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, when you're oppressed, you also have, make millions of dollars and get Emmys.
Yeah, and the fact that she won an Emmy, that just adds, and then she puts the shit on, the speech. Okay, but let's get back to the number one with a bullet for me is Miss Rachel. Now, I feel very fortunate that my kids were old enough to not be in that Miss Rachel phase, right? I think we like kind of just missed it, which I'm very happy about. But she is relentless about this. She is so disturbing. I can't, my brain immediately goes to somebody is funding this for her. And I don't know if that's true, but that's where my brain goes, because the way she deals with this and the way she kind of, promotes and platforms these actual terrorists and people.
Well, because explain what happened today. In addition to months and months and months of her talking about only the children of Palestine.
What, the Mondani thing?
Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, Miss Rachel, who doesn't even live in New York, is endorsing Zohran Mamdani,
Yeah.
who's not even is he even a dad? Like, does he even have kids?
I don't even know. I don't think so.
What the fuck was that? She literally has a target for people that don't like Jews, and she
Yeah.
likes them.
She brings on different people, or she'll bring on Jews that support her cause and are, again, she's tokenizing people. There was there was one I remember a couple weeks ago. She had I think it was a Holocaust survivor, and she probably is like, I need to find a Holocaust survivor so I can put them on and say they support what I support, because obviously the ultimate find for someone like her is a Jewish person who went through the worst genocide for Jews that could be on her side and try to, say the same things that she's trying to say. So and what's so insidious to me about her is the fact that she is there to educate and entertain children. And I understand that her social media channels are not meant for those children. But the line there is so razor thin, because the idea that she is talking to these people and she is promoting these people that hate Jews is if you found out that you're a teacher, that your kids, that I'm forgetting, not a Jewish school.
Let me just close my door because the gardener. Hold on one second, but I'm listening.
But if you were to find out a teacher to one of your children, did all of this stuff, didn't say anything in school about it, wasn't anything, was just a perfect teacher, but she had these views, and then we're talking to other people about it constantly and talked about it, would that make you feel uncomfortable?
It would be bananas uncomfortable, but that actually is very interesting that you bring that up, because I don't think we've actually talked about this person, and we can just mention it. Miss Rachel is someone that you can decide to turn off on your TV or on Netflix. Like, if I had a young kid, I don't know how you do this, but I guess you can just say, like, I don't know how you can, like, block something on Netflix, but I would find a way to block Miss Rachel on my Netflix. I hope there's a way you can do that for kids, because I would find a way that my kids wouldn't even have access to her, so they would never want to watch her and never want to buy her any of her shit, Do you know who Anna Kasparian is? I
don't.
Oh, okay.
Educate.
This is someone that you got to look up. She's the co-host of a very, very popular, super Democrat, super anti-Israel podcast called Young Turks.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, we did talk. Yes.
With Cenk.
Yeah, oh, God.
I can't handle his name because it always feels like I'm saying something like that's inappropriate, but his name is literally Cenk.
Cenk.
Yeah, but it does sound like it's like a slur.
I know, and I get what you're saying. It kind of does.
It feels like you're saying an Asian slur when you say it.
I know.
And I don't mean to, but it does sound like you're saying something. Because I know someone got canceled on Love is Blind for saying something very similar to sounding like that. Okay.
Yes,
they
so I know who you're talking
Israel.
about. Yes.
Anna Kasparian, the reason I'm bringing this up is she is so disgusting, and the things that she says about Israel are so vile. She's the one that sparred with Jillian Michaels on that show, that 4 women. Okay.
Yes.
Her husband, get this.
She's convinced that every single person who speaks out against Palestine and is pro-Israel, who has a following, is being paid $7,000 by the Israeli government.
We should be so rich.
Seriously, that. She is convinced every time she sees it. I've seen clips of it, montages of her saying, $7,000.
And just yesterday, she went viral for talking about this woman who speaks pro-Israel, and she has boobs, and she was like, she's sexualizing herself. Like, she's disgusting.
Yeah,
but
she claims to be a feminist, and this woman was just wearing a low-cut top.
Dress.
She wasn't selling anything. She just happened to be. She's just a human being that has fucking boobs, who just wants to. It had nothing to do with sex. Yet this feminist, this woman, and I'm fine with feminists, but if you're gonna go and say this bullshit about someone else who is a woman, and you call yourself a feminist, that is contradictory. Sorry, that was just
disgusting. But the point is I have a private school in my neighborhood.
Yes.
You know it.
Yes.
Do you know about this story?
Yeah, of course, go though.
Okay.
But it's crazy to me.
Anna Kasparian's husband is the baseball coach for the high school. The high school baseball coach at a private school that is a non-religious, non-denominational school. but it's a very expensive, very
Very.
well-known school. Thank God my kids don't go there. Your kids don't go there,
No.
but it's right here in my neighborhood, in your neighborhood, like our neighborhood. And it is wild. And one of the parents found out, oh my gosh, Anna Kasparian, who hates Jews, her husband, who is my son's baseball coach, not mine, but their son's baseball coach, and they sleep in the same goddamn bed, and he's my son's baseball coach,
Right.
and I happen to be Jewish. This is fucked. And apparently the school had to like send out all these emails. Talk about a conflict.
Yeah, I know. And she shows up sometimes at these baseball games.
She does.
Yeah, she has. She has. I mean, obviously, to see her husband. It is such an
I
interesting
would
conflict.
throw an egg. I would throw a gefilte fish at her face
Oh, there you go. No, you would. Yeah, well,
for $7,000.
Yeah. Good. I'll let Netanyahu know. Okay. It
I'm
is
not condoning violence.
it is a conflict because it's like, from what we've heard, the husband, and I don't even know his name, the husband has not said anything to the students about his views, about the conflict, about anything. So he was, very much the idea of separating it between, not just doing his job as a coach, and that's it. But it is very confusing because you have, you are, like you said, you're sleeping in the same bed as this person who is a raging anti-Semite who thinks everything about Israel and the Jews are bad and they're running everything and we're paying everybody to do all these ridiculous things. And going off and has such a microphone and has such a Young Turks platform. And
There's no way he doesn't agree with her. You
that's what
can't
I'm saying.
sleep in the same house. And if you don't agree, it's maybe you just don't feel as strong. But you
Right.
definitely don't disagree.
Because she must be going around. She talks during her podcast, but she must be talking about it at home.
She must be like smoke coming out of her ears sometimes at night.
Right. And it's like, what? I would question a human being who is married to that, right? Who is married to that type of person, because so then you start thinking that way of like, okay, he may not be talking about it, he may not be saying, but like, this person is married to a crazy person who hates Jews.
And
what does that say about him?
And then on Friday nights or Saturday nights when they go out to dinner with their friends, they're not going out and talking about like normal shit. They're going out and only hanging out with other people that feel the same way as them, because that's what people do. They connect with other people that have similar feelings. She's so strong in her belief. She's not like mild. She's an extremist.
Yes.
So when you're an extremist on either side of the aisle, you really can only hang out with people that have the same beliefs as you. And so that they're hanging out with other people that feel the same way. They're probably doubling down. He's probably feeling the same way, because that's what happens. You kind of just... And then what happens if you're Jewish, or even worse, Israeli, and your kid is on the team, and like, what happens if you have to talk to the coach and say like, hey, it's a holiday. Like, it's right now the month of Jewish holidays. My kids are home today because of Simchat Torah, right?
Yes.
Hey, I can't make it for practice because it's a holiday. Are you going to get benched this weekend because you're Jewish for some reason? Are you not going to get the same kind of treatment because you're Jewish? Are you going to get less play time? Are you going to get treated worse? Are your parents going to get treated worse? It's a fucking conflict. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, of course it's a conflict, and I thank God you and I are not put into this. I know the school, I know people who went to that school. There's nothing to me that would have screamed that someone like this, who's married to an anti-Semite, because the amount of Jews who probably attend that school is probably rather large, just because.
My one couple friends that are there, it's so interesting, who are Jewish, are the two kinds of friends that are. It's very interesting. They're Jewish, but they're the kind of people that are like, it's not that big of a deal.
I mean,
those are the kind of friends that I'm like, oh my God.
Are they saying that to make themselves feel better?
Maybe.
Or do they actually think that it's not that big of a deal?
Maybe to make themselves feel better. Like our school's fine. Our school's fine.
Yeah, it's like don't knock. We
Yeah,
pay
but you know what else?
like
Our
seventy
other friend.
thousand dollars a year.
Yeah,
Mine
but
is
you
gonna
know
be a
what?
school district.
Our other friend that goes to the other school, the other private school, the other big
Yes,
one.
yes.
I spoke to my other friends that have been touring all the schools
Mm.
recently,
Okay.
and they said there is no way in hell they would ever have gone to that school.
Mm.
And I said, why? And this is also, not a Jewish, this is for high school.
Yep.
And I said, why? And they said, because when you walk in, there's a big ass picture of Ta-Nehisi Coates or whatever that guy is. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh my God, look it up. Anyone listening will know if you guys know who this is. Let me get the right spelling. He's an author.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say it right. So it's okay, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
T-A-Nehisi. And then
Yep.
the last name is Coates. He's a progressive American author, journalist, and activist. And in 2024, about a year ago, he wrote a book called The Message. And it's all about the Israel-Palestine war. And literally, he went on all of these different podcasts and shows talking about how evil Israel was. And right when you walk in, and these are all people that are at my kids' middle school, so they're all coming from a Jewish school. And they're like trying to expand. So they're going to all these different high schools to just check them out. And the first thing they walk in is that there was like an ode to this guy right when you walk in. And he's like, Israel's evil. So they're like, okay, I guess we're probably not gonna
Go to this school.
I guess this is not probably a very safe school if you like really want to, be pro-Israel.
Well, you know what? It's good. Like at least that's the first thing you see, so they know immediately that they can just check that school off the list. That it's
Yeah.
not going to happen. Scratch it
Yeah.
off.
I'm
That's
just
cool.
hoping things start to calm down.
Yeah, I hear you, but it is now to the point where ceasefire is not enough for the crowd. It is not. The ceasefire is happening. It's what they wanted. It's what everybody wanted. And now it is in effect, and it's not enough because Israel still exists. And
Well, they can go F themselves. Israel's not going anywhere.
it's not. It's definitely not.
And I'm very happy to say that.
Yes.
Adam, we got to wrap it up. This was a long
Yep.
one. And I liked it. We were just it was just like hang out with Donna and Adam over a cup of coffee.
Yes. So make sure you have coffee.
I hope you guys have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, and let's pray for good news from, that region. Let's hope that Hamas actually does start to continue to return the actual bodies of the
Yes.
dead hostages, not wrong bodies like
wrong
they've been.
bodies. I know.
Jesus, they're disgusting. Thank you guys for subscribing. Our audience is growing.
Yes. Love
We're growing, not showing, just growing. What is that?
We grow and that is something a lot different and very
Like a
sexual.
penis.
Yeah, not like a penis. It is a penis.
We're growers, not showers.
We're growers, not showers. Exactly.
But shouldn't we be growers and showers?
That's what I was trying to say, but you were saying you have dick on your head. I don't know what to tell you. Dick on your brain.
I don't want dick on my head.
Well, you do.
All right.
You're a dickhead. All right. Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.